Hi guys, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm Allison if you're new here, and if you're not new here, welcome back. Today we're building a micro starter home, and I didn't intend for it to be a starter home. I finished it and I was going to put it on the gallery, and I was like, this is under 20K. It's literally 17,302 simoleons. So it's a smarter home. It's not a smarter home because I did give it the off the grid lot trait, and everything in it is functional off the grid. So it's probably not considered a smart home, but it is a starter home. Oh my goodness, I cannot quit yawning. It has been a Monday, except for the fact that it's Tuesday, but we're gonna ignore that part. Anyway, if you are new here, I am very sorry that you decided to join us today, but in all honesty, I really like how this house turns out. It's probably one of my favorite ones that I've done so far. No, it probably is my favorite house that I have built so far, and honestly, this is my first time ever building like a full-on, I wouldn't consider this a full-on cottage, but just a cottage in general, but I really enjoyed how it turned out, and I imagine I did some pretty good. Oh my goodness, I keep yawning. I am so sorry. I did imagine that I really liked the idea, and I was kind of very inspired when I started building this, and I was having fun on the landscaping, which is sometimes something I don't do, but I guess this is kind of right up my alley. I love building stuff for Sims who are like farmers and or have animals from cottage living on their lot. But we are building today in Hempford-on-Bagley, so that is the world that came with the Sims 4 Cottage Living. We're up in a 30 by 20, up by the waterfall, the very top one. But yeah, we're just making that little gardening area now, and then I delete one of the planter boxes and add a little chicken coop, and I decided to try to make it so it would match the house somewhat, even though we don't have an exact one that'll match the house. I figured that this Sim would probably try to do something to make it look like it matches. But, oh my goodness, what was I going to say about this Sim? I was going to go on a completely different tangent, but I was like, no, I gotta keep saying what I was going to say. I have literally no idea where that thought just went, but she gone. Anyway, oh, that's what it was. I left a lot more of like the indecisiveness in. However, I did cut out, like, me fiddling with the pond tools, because I'm horrible. I'm not even going to say I'm not good. I'm horrible with terrain tools. But I managed to get this pond looking decent, and I was like, alright, I know I can, like, shove some rocks in the ground using the tool mod, and that'll make it look better. But I did cut out a lot of me messing around with the pond and then landscaping and terrain painting. And later on, I put those garden rock stone paths leading to the house and around the garden. I did cut a lot of that out just because it's very repetitive and it's kind of, in my eyes, kind of boring. And I don't really see a point. But if you'd like me to leave it in, or if you like me leaving in this kind of indecisiveness that I did leave, because it's currently Tuesday night, and I need to make sure that I have a video to upload on Wednesday. Similar that I need to make sure I have a video to upload on Sunday, but I have the whole weekend to worry about that. I mean, not the whole weekend, but I have more time to worry about what I'm uploading then. Next week, we are going to be doing an apartment week, so there's that. There's shorter voiceovers and shorter videos to edit, which is nice. I mean, it's probably not nice for you who are, like, waiting for content and are kind of looking forward to content, but it's easier on me, and it's probably going to be a lot easier on me if I do weeks kind of like this, once I get in the full swing of student teaching. Oh my goodness, my voice. We're just going to keep persevering through it, though, and I'll sound like a male going through puberty. Or not a male, but a child going through puberty, which I'm currently not. I am a brisk 21-year-old who is fully gone through puberty. Okay, we're gonna get off this topic. Here are those garden stones that I was talking about placing. I kind of zigzag them and size them up and fit them in this little gardening area. And earlier you saw me placing hydrangeas, which are you can kind of see them in the corner over there in front of the windows. And I love placing those. Those are my absolute, like, favorite plant. And I would love to be able to like mix and match the colors of them, but I know that the color that produces the flowers in the plant is based off the pH level of the soil. So as much as I really would love to like mix and match the color of the hydrangeas on the lot, I'm like, this is not realistic, Allison. There would not be a blue hydrangea growing next to a white one unless they're like doing some fancy gardening. And this sim that lives here is not going to be doing that because they're just living off the land, and not really like living off the land, but just kind of existing off the land, because she's not like, I imagine this sim is a female sim, right, in my head. She's a female sim, and she has a cat. Even though you don't see me place any of the cat stuff, there's a scratching post, a food box, and a litter box. A food box. A food bowl. Anyway, I imagine she is just kind of like living from the land, like growing and harvesting stuff, and kind of living that way, as opposed to like going out and hunting. Like I feel like she's more of a gatherer, I guess, than a hunter. But like the chickens she has, I imagine that all of her chickens die of old age. She's not eating their meat. I imagine she's like a vegetarian, I guess, or like not. I can't exactly remember vegan. I think vegan's anything that comes from animals, right? So maybe she's a vegan. No, because she probably eats the eggs. Otherwise, there's no reason she has chickens. So she's a vegetarian. Anyways, not that that's important. I'm very sorry that the fact that this sim, I imagine, is a vegetarian as opposed to a vegan. I mean, that's not that important. Anyway, I'm currently working on the room now. I have a lot of the cottage living, and then I have the werewolf's rug, I believe, and then movie hangout curtains, and the cottage living little blind, and then I grabbed some Realm of Magic paintings to hang up. That one flower one I keep moving because I know I want to use it somewhere in the space, but I really couldn't find a space to put it. And another thing that I was talking about with like leaving stuff in that I would normally cut out is kind of like what I did with this wallpaper. The first wallpaper you saw I placed was one of the ones where it has different left and right sides. So I went around and I did that. But I really wanted to use this bed, and that wallpaper just did not look good with this bed, so I ended up with this base game one instead. And I'm very sorry that I left the UI up for the challenges and the lot traits. When I was editing, it was kind of bugging me, and I imagine that it might be bugging some of you now, but I imagine that, oh my goodness, I just said I imagine like 3 times. Anyway, while I was building it must not have bothered me enough to get rid of it. As you'll see, it stays on, and then after we finished the bathroom, I cut the footage, like, I stopped recording for the day, and then I came back the next time, so it obviously didn't bother me too much where I didn't notice it. So, yeah, we're just kind of working on the bathroom. I used a lot of candles around the place, because like I said, this is an off-the-grid lot trait, and everything is functional off the grid. Like the fridge, the stove, the sink, the toilet, the shower. I didn't place down any TV. The only thing I placed down for fun, and I guess it would really consider on if your sim considers it fun or not, is there's a cross-stitching box and a knitting box, and then I guess like wading in the water out front and gardening, and I guess, can you play with chickens? I don't know. There's also rabbits. I put a wild rabbit home around, and a bee box, and the grub hub or insect box from Eco Lifestyle. So I imagine this sim is kind of collecting stuff that way, and kind of using as much as she can, like having bees and collecting the honey and cooking with the honey, and then having the bees fertilize her plants, and kind of so on and so forth. As you'll see, we're doing the dining space now. I did contemplate using a living room, but imagine the sim didn't really invite a lot of people to like hang out. I imagine they're kind of a little bit more of like a loner, or if they do want to hang out, they want to hang out outdoors and not indoors. That's kind of the whole point of having a tiny home, right? You don't really want to have people coming over, because this is only 32 tiles, and one tile we don't even use because it's for the chimney. So this is a very small home. I imagine there's not more than 2 people in this house at a time. But we are wrapping up here. So if you do like this build, it is available on the Sims 4 gallery under my origin ID, alisonlogue, ALISONLOGUE, or under hashtag alpalsgames. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this. Alright, bye!